Hey, and welcome to the Maria Fontana Show. I am super excited for today's episode because it is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I think you guys are gonna absolutely love it. So today's topic is changing your mind and why changing your mind is one of the most valuable gifts you can give to yourself as a entrepreneur, as an executive, as a busy visionary, wherever you are in your journey. So let's dive right in. So a few years back, I had a huge decision I had to make, and it was a business decision that would also affect my life. And I was so worried about what people were going to think. I had planned one thing in my business, and then my intuition kept nudging me and redirecting me and telling me it was not the right fit. So I simply changed my mind, changed my whole program around, changed everything I was doing around to better align with what I wanted. Now, that personally was very stressful for me because I'll tell you what happened. I was fighting with myself. My ego and my limiting beliefs were getting the best of me, right? How many of you have experienced that where you want to change your mind? Your intuition is telling you to change your mind, but you keep saying yes or doing something that no longer feels good or is just not a good fit for you anymore or moving forward or wherever it might look like. It might be a job position. It might be something you've done for a long time with a friend or acquaintances or other couples going out to dinner. I mean, it could be anything in your life and business. So here are two things that I have personally found and in helping hundreds and hundreds of my clients with their own personal self-worth and owning the fact that it's okay to change your mind, that you don't owe anyone an explanation except yourself, how we broke through these limiting beliefs and got to the other side. Listen, it's a process, and sometimes it's not always cut and dry. But the good news is this: only you can control your outcomes, and only you can decide what's best for you. Not your family, not your friends, not your spouse, not anybody, not your boss. It is an inside job, and you must tap into that inner knowing and make the choices that are best for you. So here's two simple ways. These are little strategies that I've used to listen to myself better and tune out the noise. So the first one is don't ask people for their opinions, okay? So many times we're running around out of habit and we're asking people for their feedback. We're asking people for their opinions. And then when we get their opinion and it's not what we want to hear, it puts us in a state of anxiety, a state of stress, a state of feeling not good enough, a state of confusion. So tip number one is stop asking people who have not gone where you're going their opinion or their advice. Find a trusted advisor or someone who's like a third party outside of your situation, either a healer, a coach, a mentor, someone like myself, to give you an unbiased feedback as to what you want an answer to. But ultimately, the feedback has to come from your soul. So you don't need anyone else's approval but your own. The second thing I highly recommend that you do is be nice to yourself. See, when we decide to change our mind, that is our soul, our spirit, our inner knowing, our GPS screaming that something is not right for us, even though it might have been what we've always done, even though it might be what your family wants, even though it might be what the good girl or boy or employee that you've always been has conceded to. When we start to wake up to our true selves, which is really, that's what we're on this planet to do, is live to the fullest as our true, authentic selves. Because when you don't, this is when we feel out of alignment. This is when we feel stress. And this is when we feel anxiety. So number two is simply honor yourself. Honor what you want. Honor that it's okay. Give yourself permission to change your mind unapologetically. I want you to write these things down on a little Post-it if you have to. Stick them in your phone case, stick them wherever you have to remember. Because I can tell you from experience, I have some high six, 7-figure, 8-figure business owners, top executive CEOs. No one is left out of this that are suffering with this issue. They're feeling stuck and they're afraid to change their mind because of what people are going to think, what their family's going to think, what their boss is going to think. But ultimately, guys, remember what I always say. You only have one life and you have to live it to honor your soul, because that's what we're here for. So I hope these tips were helpful. I am so grateful, as always, that you guys are listening. If this has been beneficial, has given you any kind of inspiration or motivation today, I want you to head on over, drop me a nice review on the podcast, because that helps the podcast be shared out with more people in the world so I can have more impact and I can support more people like you to feel better and reach their goals and live an aligned life. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Head on over, drop me a review, and share this out with your friends. Have an awesome, awesome day.